In this video, we're going to talk about stress and how it can impact your muscle gains. So make sure you stay tuned. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video. I thought I'd drop this video on stress because everyone seems to be stressed out. I don't blame them. We're in some very, very crazy times with this coronavirus and whatnot, but I thought I'd do a video on it just to protect those muscle gains you've made over the years. You don't want to stress on top of not being able to work out properly, not being maybe able to eat as you would like to, etc. So managing your stress is very important. I'll get into that shortly. I'll get into some stress management tips as well. They're going to be very, very, very effective if you're not currently doing them, which I'm going to guess you're not currently doing all of them anyway. So stress, as we use it today, was coined by Hans Sale in 1936, and it's the body's non-specific response to change. That's how he defined it anyway, coined it, what we're talking about. It's very hard to define because it's very subjective, but you've got to kind of look at it in a way where everyone's stress is completely different. I completely get that. So before I go off on bad stress and how bad stress is for you and how it can impact probably most aspects of your life, including muscle gain, which this whole video is about. So the good stress on the body is known as eustress. It's usually a mild stressor, which the body can make adaptations to. So if you think of exercise, that's a mild stressor. You think of hot and cold, so if you think of like a sauna or like a freezing cold shower, those adaptations can actually help you. And then especially even things like deadlines. So if you've got like a work deadline or you set yourself like a personal development deadline, that can actually make you do it faster. And when you push yourself to do it faster, you apply yourself. That's actually a good thing because it can make you get things done a lot faster. And also the adaptation will be feeling good after that. You feel good once the deadline's complete, and you've got obviously some satisfaction that, you know, you're being rewarded for that in some way, shape or form. I hope you are anyway. So now for the main course, bad stress, known as de-stress. This is seriously detrimental to the body. It can cause weight gain, it can cause muscle loss, it can cause depression, lack of sex drive, it can cause insomnia, which can lead to way deeper health problems. And in this study, it's actually shown that it can impair your strength and recovery.
Have a look at this study done in 2007. Chronic psychological stress impairs recovery of muscular function and somatic sensations over a 96-hour period. This study was done on 31 undergraduate students, and the findings were that higher stress was associated with worse recovery. Stress, whether assessed as life event stress or perceived stress, moderated the recovery directions of muscular function and somatic sensation.
That's why it's especially important to remember that overtraining is a thing and can lead to increased cortisol levels. Actually, all of the good stresses I labeled can actually be overdone, and when they're overdone, it can lead to a bad stressor. So you don't want to overdo any of those labeled. So we want to have just the right amount of good stress while significantly reducing the bad stress. Now we're going to go on to how you can do that. Shorten your workouts. We all know that testosterone builds muscle, but cortisol actually counteracts testosterone. So it can lead to reduced protein synthesis and also muscle breakdown. You don't want that. Like, it will stop you from growing if you have too much stress. Literally. So what you can do is you can keep the workouts just that bit shorter. The actual lifting part of the session, 1 hour. I mean, you can go to 1 hour 10, but I suggest 1 hour, so that doesn't include your warm up and cool down. So you should be able to accomplish a whole lifting session in 1 hour. The next one, deep breathing. Deep breathing is proven to lower your heart rate, also put you into a much more relaxed state as well. This is something actually you can do after an exercise. It puts you into a more of a parasympathetic state, a relaxed state, rather than that fight or flight sympathetic state, which most of our day is spent in. So how do you do this, and what specific method do I recommend? I recommend box breathing. It's very simple. It's just breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, and then holding that outward breath for 4 seconds, and then repeating. So I'll demonstrate now. If you don't mind, you can fast forward this bit, but you get the gist of it, and you can repeat that as well. If you want to look into more detailed box breathing, you can Google that and have a look at that. But essentially, this will bring you into a parasympathetic state and make you feel much more relaxed. You can do it before you sleep as well if you have trouble sleeping. So you probably thought this was coming somewhere along the video, but diet. Diet plays an important role in how stressed you are and how anxious you feel, namely caffeine and alcohol.
Chronic alcoholism is one cause of short-term memory loss.
Both are stimulants in some way, shape or form. Caffeine, even in small amounts, has been shown to increase anxiety levels, make you feel nervous, and really activate that sympathetic state, which we're in anyway most of the day. If you suffer from anxiety, like really badly, I suggest weeding out caffeine and cutting it out completely eventually, because that ain't good. Studies have shown time and time and again that it really does increase anxiety levels.
This study in 1985 shows the increased anxiogenic effects of caffeine in panic disorders. So they took 17 healthy subjects and 21 patients meeting the DSM-3 criteria for agoraphobia with panic attacks or panic disorders. So it shows that caffeine increased plasma cortisol levels equally in the patients and healthy groups.
On the contrary, increasing levels of vitamin C will actually help reduce stress in the body as well, and eating a diet based around mainly whole foods, that will also decrease stress levels. So as promised, sleep.
I think you understand obsession better than you let on.
I don't want to kick this horse to death. I've done a video on this quite recently actually, so you can click above to watch that, or wait for the end screen, it'll appear there and you can give that a watch as well. But there have been studies done, numerous studies, on just a small reduction in sleep can actually have a huge impact on anxiety and stress levels.
This study from 1997 looked at the cumulative sleepiness, mood disturbance, and psychomotor vigilance performance decrements during a week of sleep restricted to 4 to 5 hours per night. They looked at 16 healthy adults and restricted their sleep by 33% below habitual sleep duration. So as you can see from this study, probably to no surprise that there were a lot of changes in terms of the way people felt, but the most surprising part of the study is that the deficits appeared to require 2 full nights of sleep to recover from the effects.
So you want to make sure you're getting in between 7 to 9 hours a night, and like I said, if you want tips on how to sleep better, watch my video above or wait till the end screen. Meditation. I'm no real meditation expert, but meditation does significantly reduce anxiety and stress levels in the short term and helps as a stress management tool in the long term. So it makes you more mindful, more present in the moment, in the now, rather than thinking about what happened yesterday, what happened 2 weeks ago, or what's going to happen in the future. Being mindful is so important to manage stress because you want to worry about now. You want to be concerned about now rather than what's going to happen or what did happen, because they're the two things, well, especially what did happen, you can't change, and what's going to happen, you have limited control over. So focus on the now. So next one, ashwagandha. So ashwagandha is also known as Indian ginseng and has been shown to reduce anxiety levels, namely actually agoraphobia, which is being built up in a large area. You know, when you're built up in a large area and you feel like claustrophobic sort of thing, that's sort of, and you can't go out because you don't want to be in a built up large area, that it kind of helps with that. But that's all really anecdotal. There's not much scientific evidence behind ashwagandha, but I can tell you now, I use ashwagandha. I know a lot of people use ashwagandha and they really feel like it relaxes and calms them. And there is one specific study I do want to refer to.
So I've got to admit, there's not many at all. This was a 2019 study, an investigation into the stress relieving and pharmacological actions of ashwagandha extract. It's a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study. So they looked at ashwagandha on a 60-day randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study, and they found that ashwagandha's stress-relieving effects may occur via its moderating effect of the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axes.
So also great news for the bodybuilding world and for building muscle. Ashwagandha can increase testosterone.
Okay, here we have this study conducted in 2018 on Indian ginseng, which is ashwagandha in male fertility, an evidence-based systematic review and meta-analysis. So they looked at a total of 4 clinical trials comprising of 5 publications. The observations were pretty small, not super big, but I didn't expect it to be because there's not much evidence at all. But the evidence that it does have, it shows the findings also evidence significant improvement in serum hormonal profile, oxidative biomarkers and antioxidant vitamins in seminal plasma. No adverse effects were reported in infertile men when taking ashwagandha. So there, like I said, it is subject to a limited number of studies, so more research will be needed, but this does definitely seem promising, and there's no adverse side effects to ashwagandha as well.
I recommend taking between 500 milligrams and 2000 milligrams before you sleep, maybe about half an hour before you sleep at night, because it does send you into that parasympathetic state. It does relax you and calm you. So taking it before you sleep makes a lot of sense. It is an adaptogen, so some people take it in the morning and say, oh, it gives me an energy increase, but I prefer to just take it at night time, just in case you're not feeling tired enough to sleep. Look for a form called KSM 66. That's the more active form of ashwagandha. It's got to be between 1 and 5% with phenolids. Some actually go up to even 10%, and that's the active compound in ashwagandha. This one is definitely in your control. I mean, all of them are pretty much, but this one specifically. Limit your stressors. I know that sounds super obvious, and I don't want to sound super obvious all the time.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
But basically, if someone's annoying you, let them know about it. If you want to tell someone something, get it off your chest. Sometimes just doing that alone can help you significantly. If you've got an increased workload at work and you can't cope with that, tell your boss about it. If you're training too much, just weed it down a bit. Take like a deload week, take like a week off. Those type of things will help you out significantly when it comes to lowering stress. So I know you're only allowed out once a day, some places you're not even allowed out, but go for a walk, even if it's, this is gonna sound stupid, even if it's just a stroll around your garden, just go for a walk, plug in a headset, put some music, put a podcast on, whatever you want, whatever puts you into that relaxed state. First of all, you get some fresh air. Second of all, you get change of scenery, which is really important when it comes to managing stress and not feeling like you're gonna get cabin fever or not feeling like you're going crazy by staying indoors the whole time. That fresh air as well really does help out, and that probably about 15 to 20 minute walk can be good. I've started implementing 6 a.m. walks every single day now, so just for like 15-20 minutes, just a quick walk around the block while no one's out. So also, if you are allowed out, try and do that. Try and time it when it's a bit quieter as well, especially if you suffer from anxiety or agoraphobia anyway, you do want to time it then. That can also help. So those are my top de-stressing tips. This can significantly assist your muscle gain in the terms of boost your testosterone, help you sleep better. Getting that sleep is so important. And if we feel constantly stressed out, you're just not going to be able to sleep, full stop. No matter how many blue light blocking glasses you wear, no matter how many tablets you take to sleep, you're not going to sleep and you're not going to get that deep sleep, which is important for recovery and growth. So try implementing them one by one. If you're kind of this all or nothing person, this is where you need to really look at everything ahead of you. See if you can implement everything at once, go ahead and do it. If you can't, break it down one at a time. One at a time. Start with the one that's easiest to implement, and I promise you, you will see significant results when it comes to reduced stress levels. And while you're here, better gains. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think it could be relevant, especially in these times. We want to share, we want to comment, we want to like, we want to support each other as well. I want to keep putting out good content. I'm going to try and put out content twice a week. Now I've got a bit more time. So make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. That's at Adam Scott Fit. I'm going to say at when everyone knows it's at. Anyway, so don't worry about that. Also, I've got a website launching soon, which is going to be able to provide online coaching for anyone that's interested. So if you're interested, just comment below and I'll give you a shout when I actually launch our website, or DM me on Instagram. Anyway, enough rambling. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And until the next video, keep pushing those limits.